Hey everyone, welcome to Ellis Mowers. Got a new, for me, Craftsman riding mower here. Never had one this new before, apart from the Husqvarna that was given to me for free that I own personally. And I didn't get this one for free either. That'd be a heck of a score if I got it for free. Found it on Marketplace. It was $300. It's 4 years old. And so let me get into the details of this. It's a T2200 Craftsman. This is the AYP made. It's got the cast iron axle, good solid deck on it. 42 inch. I don't think it's the 12 gauge steel or anything like that, or the heavy duty, whatever they call it. I'm guessing that this lawnmower is probably about $1,800 to $1,900 at Lowe's, maybe a $2,000 mower. Got it for $300. The bagger was an additional $40. Doesn't have an hour meter or anything on it. I originally thought, since it was T2200, I was like, oh, it's got a 22 horsepower Briggs V-twin on it. Well, it doesn't. It's got a 19 horsepower Intech Briggs, which looks to be in good shape, apart from this little cover right here, which honestly is not that big of a deal. Air filter looks relatively clean on it. Let's take a check. Yeah, that's definitely, oh, got a slug right there too. It's definitely doable. Definitely doable there. So I'll just take the pre-cleaner off of it. I know some people are like, no pre-cleaner, gotta keep them on there. I sold a bunch of lawnmowers without pre-cleaners with little issue. So, interesting deal here. This is not gravity fed, although the fuel tank is right here. It's got a fuel filter. Fuel filter's right there, I guess. Or like a little, that might be a check valve, I'm not sure. It's got the, I guess, the modern emissions on it, huh? Yeah, that is the fuel filter. So the fuel filter, oddly enough, is before the fuel pump, which I have not seen before, but I guess it's more efficient. I don't know. He said he filled it up for me. We got about a half a tank in there, so that's not too bad. Like I said, the date code for the engine is a 33R877, so it's a 33,000 series Briggs. It was made 1/5, the year 15, the month 4, April 7th of 2015. Got all my information right here that I need. If I need blades, belt, or anything like that. So, just kind of a modern version of what I already have. Had many of. I just have not. Most of the ones I've had are older Craftsmans. So I'm starting to find more newish Craftsmans like this. Like I said, I forked up about $300. I got $340 in the deal, plus about probably $10 gas. So you can call it an even $350. If I get it fixed, it's probably an $800 mower, $800 to $900. Excuse me. So it's got a nice battery in it as well. 340 cold cranking, or yeah, 340 cold cranking amps. It's not that old. I was able to jump it off. I drove it onto the trailer, so I know it runs good. He said he could never get it to cut grass. I don't know why. When I got it, I saw that the deck belt was off of it, so I put the deck belt back on. I'm about to put a battery in it, crank it up, take it off of the trailer. Can't think of words sometimes, guys, sorry. And see if it cuts. I mean, I don't see anything abnormal with it. I see a little bit of wear on the belt. The pulleys all seem free. And so let's look. I'm going to look. Let's look at the right pulley over here too, which is kind of blocked by the bagger, but so that blade brake is Alright. All the pulleys are spinning freely. The mower deck does not look like, and the belt tightens up just fine. I'm wondering if the belt's just a little stretched and I need to get a new belt for it. But the blade brake on this side is good. It comes off. Let me look at what the blade brake on the left side does really quickly. And then I'll throw a battery in it. We'll take this bad boy off. So the blade brake on this side is fine too. So I'm not really a fan of these blade brakes on these mowers. They seem to wear over time and start binding the pulleys up. He said that something shot out from the blade. I did not see an issue with the blades or anything of that nature. And everything seems to be turning okay. The blades either need to be sharpened or replaced. I do know that. We'll get it on the lift and see that. But I mean, apart from that, it looks good. Again, I usually don't pay $350 for a riding mower that's not fully functional. However, I can stand to make a decent profit on this one, I believe. So, anyways, that's the overview. The reason why I got it so cheap was because he was moving. He needed it gone. And I found it within the first hour of it being posted on Marketplace. So, with that being said, let me put a battery in it, crank her up, take her off of the trailer, and see if it cuts grass. If it does, we're in good shape. Like I said, maybe a deck belt, but maybe that's all I'm going to have to do to it. Alrighty, I'll put a brand new battery in it. The one that was in it was from February, but I'm sure that it got run down or the key switch got left on or something because it was stone dead. I'll charge it. I'll probably have a good battery from it. Let's see if this one runs. I know it runs. Let's just see if it cranks with the new battery on it. Oh yeah. Alright, y'all, sorry. I should have done this before I took it down, but I'm going to check the oil real quick on it. I think the oil is extremely clean. I'm glad I checked. I'm going to add probably get 32 ounces to it, honestly. It's a 48 ounce capacity. It probably don't have 12 ounces in it. So let me go ahead and do that, and then we'll test out the mower to see if it will operate like it is supposed to with the mowing deck and such. Alrighty, y'all, I'm glad we checked the oil when we did, because it was pretty low. It was actually a little bit of smoke coming out the crankcase whenever I put that oil in, so it was pretty low. Just about made a rookie mistake, guys. I would have been furious to pay $340 for a lawnmower and then bring it home and blow it up because it didn't have any oil in it. Anyways, I'm going to crank it up. I'm going to try and engage the blades, and we're going to see what happens here. that pretty much tells me what all I need to know right there. That deck is shaking violently, which means that I either have, number one, a bent blade, or number two, a bad spindle or something. It's got to be the blades though. Like, let's see. Let's look at the blade situation here. So that one looks, it just looks a little chewed up. Oh yes, that would be it. Wow, I did not see that. Holy moly. I need to see that again. Oh my gosh. What did they hit with this lawnmower? He said it needed a blade and a battery. I put the battery in it. Obviously I gotta put the blade on it now, but oh my gosh. Let me check this blade. So this blade is, it's got to be the original blades for the lawnmower, because they are dull as dull can be. So this one has a complete blade. I just turned it on both sides. Wow. We're gonna give this one more look. But think of it this way. If all I need to do is go into my little brown cabinet over there and fetch out a couple of blades for 30 bucks, I still have $370-ish in the mower. I have under $400 in the mower. I'm probably going to double my money on it. So I just need to give it a really good cleaning. The guy even already cleaned it off for me a little bit. And we'll be good. So I'm going to go ahead and park it. I've had a long week at work. I'm very tired and I'm ready to wind down. I will pick this back up another day and we will see about, like I said, about changing the blades out on this and making sure that that fixes the issue that I have with the atrocious noise coming out of that deck. I'm about 95% positive, as long as the spindle is not damaged, that the blades will fix the issue. And then we'll have a functional mower with a bagger that should be pretty desirable. Alrighty y'all, so after I filmed the other day, another symptom showed up as the engine got warm. Let me show you what it's doing. So I got it at idle now. See all that smoke? And I'll have to go ahead and turn it off. So what that is, I'm hoping, Lord, I hope it's not the rings, is that I got a head gasket issue. I know that's fairly common on these 19 horse, like these newer Intex. And this is the 33R877, made in 2015. So it is a newer Briggs, but I've been, like I said, I've heard bad things about the Briggs engines. I don't like to cannibalize head gaskets. However, I got one on this that I think was functional. I got a new one, but I think it's for a 31,000 series Briggs in here. So that's another thing I got to fix on this thing. Like I said, it was very low, very, very low on oil when I got it. So I'm hoping that he did not wear the rings, the piston rings. That's the 31,000 series head gasket. So I'm going to disassemble the bagger. I got to do a little work on that anyways with the mount and such. And I'm going to pop this into the garage, throw it up on the lift. And first off, we'll get the blades adjusted. Secondly, we will check the torque on the head bolts to make sure that it's tight. And if it's tight and torqued properly, we'll go ahead and replace the head gasket. So off we go. Alright, I got it on the jack, I got the safety catch on, and the tire strap. Let me show you under the deck before I take these things off. These blades are complete trash. Complete trash. So this is the best side of this blade. It looks like they're mulching blades. They look like the original blades on it. So let me turn it to this side. You see how bent those are right there? Like, so it's bent up. This lip is supposed to be higher than the lift portion on the back of this blade. And so this got hit, bent up somehow, and it wasn't good whatever happened to it. This is the good blade. Let me show you all on the other side. This blade, which is completely missing half. This is the underside, I showed it to you earlier. So it's missing half of this, which confirms the fact that he did say that he saw something fly off of it. So half the blade went, you know, flying somewhere. This is the other side, dull as everything. These things probably should have been replaced about 30 hours ago on the mower. I also have a plastic bag wrapped around this spindle. I will get that off now. Kind of. Alright. Probably easier if I took the blade off to get it off first, but you know what? Why not? That's probably as good as I'm gonna get right there. It's actually down in the spindle. So I believe these are they're the 9/16 or 5/8, and Impact will get them off. I'll get them off of the mower. I'll show you the ones I'm replacing them with, and then we'll delve into the head gasket, because I really don't want to run this mower for very long without diving into whatever engine issue it has. Also, one more thing. I let this thing sit for a week. This tire went flat, so it's either got a puncture somewhere or a small leak. I don't know if it's at the valve stem or whatnot. Probably right there. If I were to spray some dishwater on it. I might try and ATF it up, see what happens with it. It did go flat over the course of a week, though, or less. So let me get the blades off. I'll show you what I'm going to put on. Alright, here's the comparison of the old versus new. You can see how twisted that blade is. You can see obviously that blade is missing a chunk. And here's the new blades. I'm going to put high lift blades on them because that's what I have here, to be honest with you. And this mower's going to discharge and bag, so you know, high lift blades work well for that. Let me get them on, and we will start tackling the head gasket issue here next. Alright everyone, we're about to get rolling here on this. Taking the head off. Looks like a bunch of 10 millimeters is going to get us pretty far here. The valve cover actually does. The valve cover does have a little dent in it. And has been resealed. So that's something to take note of. I just saw that. Excuse me. That valve cover's got a little bitty dent right there in it. Shouldn't make a difference. Because my neighbor's mower has a bigger one and it's running great. Side point. Before I get rolling, let me check the torque of these head bolts. And then we'll get started. Alright, so it's around 19 foot-pounds, 220 inch-pounds. So I'm just gonna kind of check them all real quick, see how they're torqued. That one was pretty. That one needed a little extra. I'm gonna do this. Actually, let me go up top if I can get up there. Okay. I think there's one inside the valve cover gasket. Let me do this. I don't think that this is going to be it, guys. They're pretty snug. Except for that bottom right one down there. I do know that this is a very common occurrence. I kind of want to take the head off of it anyways, just to see, to make sure that it's not cylinder scoring or anything of that nature, from where it has been run low on oil, probably for a prolonged period of time. I'm gonna heavily regret this purchase if that's the case. Heavily. To mark my words, I won't never pay $300 and some for a lawnmower ever again if that's the case. Alright, got the air filter off. I'm going to go ahead and chuck the pre-cleaner. The rest of the filter is in good enough shape to stay on the mower. Like I said, 10 mils is going to get us pretty far here. Take the engine cover off. Throw all my hardware in this bucket. Let's see. 10 mils hold on the gas tank, which also holds this on. Let's see. So this has got some interesting sides on it. There's a little button down here that pops out, and you just lift the side up. That's what I'm doing now. What you saw me do on the right side, now I'm doing on the left side. It's like Craftsman. Why do you make these little three-piece hood type things when your your one-piece hood worked beautifully for how many years? Still really like these mowers though. Let's see. let's do this. Let's see if I can get by with this. Pull this up here. Take this. This little underside bracket off the front under the cover here. My impact is also dying a slow death. Alright, so that bracket, I can take that off. I think I can wiggle the head out without having to take that cover off more. 10 mils on the valve cover. This might be a telltale sign if we do get this. Somebody's been in this before, which I'm not very pleased by. Well, it's definitely not going to leak. Yeah, I can cut into this a little bit. All right. Gonna grab a hammer and just tap that valve cover off, and we're gonna look inside. All right, so with all the ambient noise, I don't know if you're gonna be able to hear this. However, I'm gonna turn this around a couple of revolutions and see if you can hear the hissing. I don't know if you can hear it right there. So it's hissing, and I can see smoke coming out of here. So that's usually indicative that we got some sort of head gasket issue. Also, the oil turned dark really quickly on this thing. And that's another telltale sign. The oil's getting pretty diluted. The oil's getting dirty from the exhaust gases and stuff like that. So here we go. 10 mil. Takes your intake off. We don't need to do anything more to that. And now, I'll take that back. There are no head bolts in this, in the inside of this overhead valve, but we needed to do that anyways. I will check the valves adjustments once I put it back together. Get my spark plug wrench. Here's where we're going to take off. Got the Allens here. I'll do this off camera real quick, and we'll get to the point of taking off this head. So I have my Allens right here, 1 and 2. Obviously make sure that your engine has cooled down. Take my spark plug out. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 head bolts to take off. You don't have to take them off in any particular order. I'm going to get those off. We're going to pull the head off, and we're going to try and make sure that the valve push rods do not go in there, because if they do, then we're going to have not fun times. But real quick, the reason why I did elevate this a little bit, and I might let it down some so that I don't have the issue, is so that the oil got pushed back and not pushing out on the valve cover and onto the muffler. So I am going to lower this a little bit because I am done. I am done in this general area. So I don't think the valve guides will push back in there, but you never know. They won't. I might leave it as is. Never mind. Let me get the head bolts off and stop talking. See what we got in under this thing. Alright, you ready to see what we got? I'm just pull these head bolts out. First, this was the spark plug situation. You can see a bunch of oily residue on it. So this thing's been pushing oil out pretty good for at least some duration of time. Oh, bless me, my gosh. Again, no particular order of how they come out. Just make sure that you get them all out. You'll know if you don't. Five-year-old Briggs engine. Not a lot of hours on it. It's already got a blown head gasket. Go figure. Alright, that's 8 bolts. Let's pull her off. See what we got. There's your culprit. There's your culprit. Alright, aluminum on the bottom. Cast iron on the top. Like I said, here's our culprit. You can see it right there. Let me give you a pointer. Right there. And here is our blow-by. That will explain all the reason why I got oil right here. The good news is, this is good news, by the way. This is not scored, from what I can tell. And this is a classic blown head gasket situation. So, next order of business. Get the head off here. Head gasket, the old one. Okay, that's the old head gasket. And I had to pull it off there too. I had to get a scraper or something, pull it off. And we'll put the new one on. So just want to take a quick gander at this because I have, like I said, I've got this brand new one here. It's for a 31,000 series Briggs versus a 33,000 series Briggs. And like I said, I don't think it'll work. It's a little bit on the small side. You see that right there? You see how it's a little bit smaller than the 33,000 series, so I can't use that on this. I've got that donor 20 horsepower out there. That is the same size. I'm going to see how easily that one comes off. If I can get that one off in one piece and get it off easily, I might use it. If not, I'll order one and see what I got in that regards. But next order of business is just cleaning it off. Like I said, classic head gasket failure there. So let me see what I can work, what magic I can work, and we'll get another head gasket on here. See what we can do. All right, I got the surface cleaned off a little bit. I am gonna clean it with a wire brush. I just cleaned it off with a scraper first, and just to get it pretty as flush as I can. I also did the same thing to the head down here. I'm also going to take the wire brush and we'll clean this head off where all the oily residue is. Again, the old gasket right here, that's where it blew. It was pushing oil through it. It's a very, very common place for these to blow, from what my understanding, especially probably in hard use. Here's the new one. It's got the 33 on it, so I knew that this was for a 33 cubic inch. That was weird. That sounded like an electrical flash up near downtown. Here is my part number for you. It is 794114, cylinder head gasket for 33,000 series Briggs. You want to see that. They do make, I think that's the part number for the 33,000. Again, the 31,000 is right here. And you can actually see the difference. See, it's got that little tab on it there. So it's probably an updated gasket or something from Briggs. I'm not sure, but it's right here. We're going to put it on. I'm going to do a little bit more cleanup, and we'll test it out. Again, it's really easy. I'll show you the process of me putting it on. So just hang tight for a second, and we'll put it on. Alrighty, y'all, it is assembly time. I got the head cleaned off. Got the block cleaned off. Wire brush did the trick for both. Again, especially tried to clean the area where the head gasket blew. So, let me push this down a little bit so that it's not right up at top dead center, or at the top of the stroke. You will have a little bit of debris and residue. You can vacuum it up if necessary. I just kind of wiped it up with a rag. Sprayed off the head with some brake cleaner. We're going to get this out of the way as I put this head on. Yeah, we'll work it. Alright. Again, 794114 is my gasket number. We're going to go ahead and open her up. This I went to the local lawn and garden shop and got, as opposed to attempting to get it online and get it shipped, because it was like a $3 price difference. I could have got it today and had this thing running and cutting tonight, or I could have waited a week and saved $3. It's instead I decided to support my local business on this one. And so as a result, this is in my hand right now. There's a couple of guide pins to put this on, and it goes on like this. Your numbers, if yours have numbers on them, they face the inside. So we got that. Now the next thing we can do, exhaust on the top, intake on the bottom. So I'm going to position those as I bring and put the head in. You know what? Let's do this differently here. Put the head on first. It also should fit into the guide pins just like that. Perfect. Alright. Exhaust. Fit that in there. Alright, so here's the fun part I'm going to do here. I'm going to pull the head off just slightly. And put that push rod back on. Perfect. I'm going to do the same thing for the intake. And you're just going to feel around. You feel it pop into the guide. Just a little bit. That'll get us in. Put the guide pin up. Good. All right, well, we'll just go the old school route. I was trying to cut corners there, it didn't work. There. I'll just back them out. Let's get the head bolts torqued. Hopefully y'all can see most of that. All right. We'll put the head bolts on now. $220 inch-pounds, remember that. I'm going to finger thread them. See if I can capture all of this on camera for y'all. I know the videos are lengthy, but I want to show you kind of the entire process. because I know some of y'all are, there's so many step-by-steps out there that I don't need to add to the noise. I kind of try and put my own spin on things. Just to kind of show y'all the entire process. And to give y'all a little bit of story time sometimes too. Alright, so let's see. That head bolt seems a little bit resistant. Let me grab my small impact. I'm going to start this one at the top first. I want to make sure that I got a good okay, good. Alright, so this is my baby impact. Going in like a star pattern here. And just kind of getting them finger tight, so to speak. Maybe this one. This one. This one. Now, that's all I want to do before I use the torque wrench, which is what we're going to do now. I got it set to 19 foot-pounds, which is 220 inch-pounds. 240, that's close enough to 2. Again, we're going to go on a star pattern. Okay. We'll worry about the valves later. Middle one here. And the top right left one, I believe. Oh, I'm missing one. I think it's this one, is it? No. No. I did 7, and I can't find the 8th. Maybe it's this one. There it is. It's that one. Okay, so I'll start the pattern again. Make sure that 2. Come on. 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Excellent. All right. Let's get my wrench out now. Wrench and my T15. 3/4 no. 5/8. Yes. Okay. So we're gonna just unscrew these. We're going to adjust the valves. Exhaust push rod on the top. Intake push rod on the bottom. There we go. You kind of feel around, you'll eventually hit the groove. Guess I gotta pull this out further. There we go. I'm just finger tightening them back for right now. Alright, so now that I've got them back on, okay, I do not have the intake one back on. The exhaust one is good. The intake one is not where it needs to be for some reason. Right there, I think I got it right there. Let's try that. I do not. So what I need to do, I got to work on getting this intake push rod into its proper place, and we'll do a valve adjustment next. All right, we're back at it. I found the groove for this to go into. Now let me get my feeler gauge, and we're going to check the valve clearance. Alright, so we're looking for 3 to 5 thousandths on the intake. So there's about first 4 thousandths. These are trying to go about 5 thousandths on both, because exhaust is 5 to 7 thousandths. So let's see what we got here. Definitely a little too much on the exhaust. For the intake, excuse me, intake is aluminum on the bottom of these overhead valve Briggs. Let's see, so 3 to 5, right? 3 to 5. So I got 5 right there, it won't fit. Let's see if a 4 will. There's my 4. Four does not fit either. Let's try 3. Three barely fits. I don't really like how tight that is. I just need to turn it out a microscopic amount. I'm talking like barely, not even probably a tenth of a turn there. Alright, so there's my 5. We can fit it in there pretty easily. Definitely should be able to fit the 4 in. Yeah. So 5. Make sure I can't get the 6 in. Just barely. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. Loosen that with the T15. And just like I said, just it's such a small amount, it's ridiculous. So the 6 no longer fits. The 5 no longer fits. The 4 I mean, it's got clearance in it, and the 3 fits beautifully. So again, 3 to 5 thousandths. One thing I do to make 100% sure I've got the valve completely open is that right there. Have the other one closed. So you can see the other one's closed. We're gonna do that. 5 to 7 thousandths on the exhaust. It could use tightening a little bit. Because it's not tightened all the way, silly. Okay. Let's see. And we'll have to loosen it up just a smidge. Again, just feel it out. So I need to go a little bit further out. So that's right at 5 thousandths, so I just need to back it off just a smidge more. Right about there. The 6 is tight, the 5 should be perfect. Still a little bit of the 7's super tight. I just need to pop it in just so. Again, it's very, very fine adjustments. I just want to show you that this valve adjustment deal is not the fastest or the process. So I got a 5 that fits basically right in there. I could tweak it back and forth all day. I'm just going to pull it out one more. Call it right there. How about that? We'll put the valve cover gasket on, get this thing off the lift, and get the exhaust back on, the intake back on, what I showed you earlier in the video. And then we will test it out. Shouldn't have any more smoking now. Give it an oil change as well after I find out and confirm that everything's good on it. And send it on down the line. So let me go ahead and do all that off camera. I'll catch back up with y'all in just a second. Alright, so here's a moment of truth time, so to speak. I went ahead and changed the oil in it. Did a couple of other things to it. in terms of servicing the mower and such. When I put the new oil filter on it, these little side skirts right here actually impede with. I put ST3614 car oil filters on my mowers just because they save me about $10 a unit whenever I do that. I had to cut that side skirt out a little bit, but you hardly even notice it. So I did that. New oil is in it, like I said. So I'm going to sit y'all back here. I'm going to start it up, bring it out here. We're going to test the blades out, and we will see if everything works out correctly. Sorry for the loud truck. Only thing I noticed is that right blade brake doesn't work, which is pretty common for these. And I'm not terribly concerned about that. As long as the deck belt stays on, then that's all I really care. The new blades fix the big vibration issue, which is exactly what I thought. So I tell you what, I know this video is getting lengthy, and I showed you everything that I did with it. Let's take this thing up and down the driveway and blow off some pine straw. How about that? No smoke yet. windows down, no smoke. Excellent. Let's check to make sure the deck belt didn't fly off. Nope, we're good. So, like I said, that blade break is really the only thing. These decks are notorious for that. Next order of business, I'm going to finish blowing off the driveway a little bit. I'll cut it, I'll give it a good wash, and I'll give you all a final look. I did put a little ATF in this tire. It was leaking down, so I do need to drive it a little bit. So, looking like that's all we needed to do on this. I might have to check the deck to see if it's level. It does look a little low on the left side. So I might adjust the deck real quick before I cut with it. Also lube up the front. I want to knock out the front yard. I'm kind of on a time crunch. So let me go ahead and get to it. I'll show you the final product. I'll make sure that it works correctly. And then I'll show you the final product. And we'll get this thing on down the line because I've already got a buyer for it. Alright, so this mower ended up finishing the front yard. Ended up cutting. I've still got to do a few things to it. Most notably, it's still surging pretty bad when it's not under load. So I'm going to end part one right here. Part two hopefully will be pretty short. We're going to take the carburetor off, most likely drill out the low side jet on the carburetor, and then after that we're going to grease everything up, grease the front end up, stuff like that. Just do a couple of maintenance items on it. I knew this video was getting pretty lengthy, and so I didn't want to drag it out anymore. I hope y'all enjoyed the more in-depth of me fixing it and going through the whole process with you. I know it's lengthy, and I know some of y'all it's not your forte to watch a video that long. However, I enjoy doing the documentary style chronicle of it. Hope y'all did too. I'll catch you on part two. We'll finish this thing up, make it look pretty, and sell it on off. And I'll catch you on part two. And you can always catch me at Ellis Mowers 09 on Instagram and Facebook to see what else I'm working on in my garage. And right here on YouTube every Wednesday and Sunday. See you on the next video.